Have you ever hesitated to ask for help, worried you'd be too much for someone else? You're not alone. An incredible 74% of adults worry about being a burden when they need support. This isn't a small fear. It prevents 69% of people from speaking about their mental health at all. But what if this powerful feeling is based on a fundamental misperception of how others see us? Here, we'll break down the roots of this feeling, how it affects our relationships, and the proven ways to fix it. First, let's give this feeling a name. Psychologists call it perceived burdensomeness. The key word is perceived. It's a misperception, not the reality. Where does this come from? Internally, it's fueled by low self-esteem, anxiety, and depression. Externally, society's pressure for constant self-sufficiency teaches us that needing help is a form of failure, and it often starts young, in childhood homes, where expressing needs was discouraged or ignored. This upbringing shapes our attachment style. If early needs weren't met, we can develop a deep-seated fear of being too much for the people we love. So we have these roots in our psychology, society, and childhood. But how do they actively work inside our minds to create this feeling day to day? It's not just a thought. It's in your brain's wiring. In fact, your brain can actively trick you into isolating yourself. How does it do that? When you're depressed, your brain enters a conservation mode. It interprets a low mood as a signal to save energy, which leads to pulling away from social contact. At the same time, your thought patterns become distorted. You might use mind reading, assuming you know others think you're annoying, or all or nothing thinking. This creates a destructive cycle called the burden complex. The more you fear being a burden, the more you withdraw, creating real distance in your relationships. These internal mechanisms aren't invisible. They show up in our everyday actions. Do any of these behaviors sound familiar to you? First, frequent apologies for tiny things, like taking a moment to speak or simply existing in a shared space. Next, actively avoiding asking for help, even when you're struggling, and going to great lengths to handle everything alone. And consistently downplaying your own emotions with phrases like, "It's fine," or "It's no big deal," when it clearly is. These feelings can become especially intense when managing something like a chronic illness, where independence feels threatened. It's easy to see these behaviors and think it's a personal failing. That is a damaging myth. This feeling is a symptom, not a weakness. Now for the most powerful point. Research shows a massive disconnect between your feeling of being a burden and what your loved ones actually think. While you feel like a liability, the people who care about you often report feeling a stronger connection and a sense of purpose when they have the chance to help. So, to answer our earlier question, your brain tricks you into isolation, but the social reality is that the people who matter don't see your need as a burden. Knowing there's a disconnect is one thing, but how do we actually bridge that gap? How do we start believing the reality instead of the feeling? Let's connect the dots. Recall the burden complex that makes you pull away? Knowing your loved ones want to help reveals the tragedy. You're pushing away a welcome connection. And the mind reading? That distorted thought that you're an annoyance directly leads to the behavior of over-apologizing, reinforcing the false belief in a cycle. But there's good news. Perceived burdensomeness is considered a clinically malleable state. This means it is not a permanent trait. It can be changed. Specific therapies are designed to break that cycle. Cognitive behavioral therapy challenges distorted thoughts, while group therapy provides a safe space to practice connection. You can start today with one small shift. Reframe apologies. Instead of, "Sorry for venting," try, "Thank you for listening." This shifts your focus from burden to gratitude. The feeling of being a burden is real, heavy, and common. But it is a feeling, not a fact. It's a changeable misperception rooted in our past and our biology. And the most critical truth is that the people who love you likely don't see a burden. They see someone they care about. And helping is a chance to connect. Reaching out is not a sign of weakness. It is an act of strength and a step toward bridging the gap between how you feel and what is real. If this video helped you, share it. You never know who might need to hear that they are not a burden.